Okay, sorry for the delay. There was some issue with my webcam. Namo Buddhaya, everyone. Namo Buddhaya Sandhya ji for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay, we start our live session with our meditation. We start with the Anapanasati meditation for 15 minutes. Some instructions on Anapanasati meditation. Sit comfortably, your spine straight. Bring your awareness to your breathing and be aware of the in and out breath. Just be aware of the breath. In breath, out breath. Do not change the pattern of the breathing. And you can keep your attention on the belly area or on the nostrils area if you want, if it helps you. For me, it helps to keep the attention on the belly area. Do not change the pattern of the breathing. And if the mind gets lost, as soon as you become aware that my mind got lost, bring it back to the breathing. So we have its awareness of breathing, right? Awareness of in breath and out breath, right? So let us start our meditation. Sit comfortably. Let me just put a timer for 15 minutes. Let us start. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes, or you can keep your eyes half closed. And gently bring your attention to your breathing. And be aware of the in and out breathing. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. Do not change the pattern of the breathing. You have to just observe. Complete awareness on the breathing. When you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. And when you breathe out, know that you are breathing out. Only that we need to do. Keep your attention on the breathing. Keep your awareness on your breathing. Total awareness. In breath, out breath. Keep breathing. In breath, out breath. Remain totally aware of the breathing. Come back to your breathing. Come back on the breathing. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In breath, out breath. Keep breathing like this. In breath, out breath. Full awareness of breathing. Keep your awareness on the breathing. If the mind gets lost or gets distracted, bring it back gently to the breathing. Watch the entire breath. In breath, out breath. Note the entire breath as it is coming in and as it is going out. Full awareness of breathing. If the mind gets lost or distracted, bring it gently back on the breathing and keep your awareness on the breathing. In breath, out breath. Full attention on the breathing with full determination. In breath, out breath. Yourself fully aware on the breathing. Don't let a single breath escape without your conscious observation. Keep breathing, in breath, out breath. Full awareness on each breath. Full awareness of breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. In breath, out breath. Keep breathing. Mind gets lost. Bring it back gently to your breathing. And keep breathing. Keep your awareness on your breath, coming in and going out. Full awareness on the breath. Keep breathing. And now you will close this meditation. Whenever you feel complete, you can open your eyes. Whenever you feel complete, you can open your eyes. Okay. Just a second. Give me 1 minute. So what we'll do is that we'll continue the reading from the book. This is the book Old Path, White Clouds by Thich Nhat Hanh. Very good book on Buddha's life. So we continue from where we left. Uh, Now let's come to chapter 51. The title of the chapter itself is quite interesting. The title of the chapter is The Treasure of Insight. So just a second. Okay. Okay. So it goes as like this. When the 13th retreat season ended, Buddha returned to Savatthi. Swasti and Rahula followed him. The first time Swasti had been to Jetavana monastery. It was the first time Swasti had been to Jetavana monastery. He was delighted to discover how beautiful and inviting place it was to practice. Jetavana was cool, refreshing, and friendly. Everyone smiled warmly at Swasti. They knew that the sutta on tending water buffaloes had been inspired by him. Swasti was confident that in so supportive an environment, he would make great progress in his practice. He was beginning to understand why the Sangha was as important as the Buddha and the Dhamma. Sangha was the community of persons practicing the way of awareness. It provides support and guidance. It was necessary to take refuge in the Sangha. And this is in one of the videos that I made today. I just that came to me that it's like Nibbana, enlightenment, nirvana that we talk about in Hindi word is the like the mountain peak, and we are all climbing, right? That mountain is a treacherous mountain. It's not easy. Sometimes weather is good, sometimes weather is not good. So either you can walk alone in that mountain, right? That is like Nibbana is complete freedom from suffering, right? So that is our goal. We want to go there. So either you can practice alone, but if you have, yes, Nehaji, it just came to me like, but if you have some friends who are also walking with you and whom you resonate with, and they are all together, so then the journey becomes easy, number one, and the journey becomes enjoyable also, right? So that is the benefit of Sangha, and why we should come and practice together, because it helps us to uh, no, it's not kind of a race. Everyone walks on his own speed, but being together in the a kind of a in a together, it gives everyone a support, right? Okay. Rahula turned 20 years old and Sariputta performed his ordination ceremony. Now, that was what Buddha said to Rahula, that you will be a novice monk till you become 20 years, and then you will be a fully ordained bhikkhu. So Sariputta performed his ordination ceremony. Sariputta was one of the chief disciples of the Buddha. He was now a fully ordained bhikkhu, and all the community rejoiced. Venerable Sariputta devoted several days prior to the ordination to give Rahula special teaching. Swasti accompanied him during these sessions and so benefited from Sariputta's teaching as well. After Rahula's ordination, the Buddha also spent time to teach him different methods of contemplation. Swasti was invited to these sessions too. The Buddha taught them the contemplation on the six sense organs: ears, eyes, nose, tongue, body, and mind, on the six sense objects: form, sound, smells, tastes, tactile objects, and objects of mind, and the six sense consciousnesses: eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, taste consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. Right? So this is basically what is happening is that when you see some object outside, there are three things that are coming into play. One is your, for example, when you are seeing something outside, there is one thing is your eye, second thing is the object that you are seeing outside, and the third thing is the consciousness that arrives at that moment, which is the eye consciousness. All these three things have to be there to give you a perception of what that object is. So this is what Buddha's teaching is, that every time new consciousness keeps on arising. So so there is no one set, mind. The mind keeps on changing. We are having, like in a day we have hundreds of mind moments. Every moment is a new mind. That's why there is this thing that someone came to Buddha, and he spat on him, on Buddha. He was maybe angry on something, and that person came again next day and sought forgiveness. Buddha said, "You don't need to seek forgiveness because you are not the same person who had come yesterday." Right? So that way, Buddha showed him how to look deeply into the impermanent nature of these 18 domains of sense, also called the 18 dhatus, which comprise the six sense organs, six sense objects, and six sense consciousnesses. The 18 dhatus, everything is impermanent. This is what Buddha's kind of core teaching is. Everything is impermanent, everything is dependently originated. There is no stability, no stable ground where you can stand. So then, if there is no stable ground where you can stand, what's the use of attaching yourself? Because once that idea you deeply kind of understand, then you like become disillusionment with all the external objects. Then you do whatever you want to do. You live your life, but you live in a detached way. Perceptions arose because of contact between a sense organ and a sense object. All the domains of sense depended on each other for existence. They were all impermanent and interdependent. If one could understand that, one could penetrate the truth of the emptiness of self and transcend birth and death. So, what is emptiness? Emptiness is that everything is empty of a permanent self. There is no permanent self. And this is what the Buddha's teaching was, is in direct contradiction to the Vedas, which said that there is an Atman, there is a soul. Buddha even went 10 steps ahead and said that if you look within an Atman, within a soul, even then there you find the five aggregates: body, mind, feelings, volition, consciousness. They are all interacting. There is nothing that is permanent, because till the time you hold something as permanent, you will be attached to this samsara, right? So everything is impermanent. So that is the Buddha's teaching on emptiness, right? Okay. Buddha gave Rahula the teaching on the emptiness and emptiness of self in great detail. He said, Rahula, amongst the five skandhas are what? Five aggregates: body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. There is nothing that can be considered to be permanent, and nothing that can be called a self. The body is not the self. This body is not something that belongs to the self either. The self cannot be found in the body, and the body cannot be found in the self. Right? It's like we are in a sea. We're in a river. You are like in a sea, and you say that this is water is mine. Which water is yours? It's just the river that is flowing. Nothing is yours. Right? Okay. There are three kinds of views on self. The first is that the body is the self, or the feelings, perceptions, mental formations, consciousness of the self. This is the belief in skandha as self. And this is the first wrong view. Buddha said this wrong view that you have an independent self, it keeps you in samsara, right? But when one says the skandhas are not the self, one may fall into the second wrong view and believe that the self is something that exists independently from the skandhas, and that the skandhas are its possessions. This is the second wrong view, is called skandha is different from the self. The third wrong view consists in the belief that there is a presence of the self in the skandhas, and there is the presence of the skandhas in the self. This is called belief in the presence of skandhas and self in each other. This is also a wrong view. All three are wrong view, right? Now Buddha says, Rahula, practicing deeply the meditation on the emptiness of the self means looking into the five skandhas in order to see that they are neither self, belonging to the self, nor interbeing. This is what we do in vipassana, right? So anapan sati is like a kind of preliminary thing. But once your concentration is deepened, Then you bring your attention to body, and you know that this body is impermanent. Sensations, thoughts, feelings, you cannot hold to anything. This body was changing moment to moment. Suppose you get a scratch somewhere, right? A boil somewhere, and that boil over some days it will heal because the skin is changing. Nothing is permanent. So then that understanding comes that this everything is changing. Once we overcome these three wrong views, we can experience the true nature of emptiness of all dharmas. Swasti noticed how a bhikkhu at Jetavana named Thera never spoke to anyone else. He always walked alone. Venerable Thera did not disturb anyone, nor did he violate any precepts, yet it seemed to Swasti that he did not live in genuine harmony with the rest of the community. Once Swasti tried to speak with him, but he walked away without responding. The other bhikkhus nicknamed him the one who lives alone. Swasti had often heard the Buddha encourage the bhikkhus to avoid idle talk, meditate more, and develop self sufficiency. But Swasti felt that Venerable Thera was not living the kind of self sufficiency that Buddha intended. Confused, Swasti decided to ask the Buddha about it. The next day, during his Dhamma talk, the Buddha summoned the elder Thera. He asked him, "Is it true that you prefer to keep to yourself and that you do all the things alone, avoiding contact with other bhikkhus?" The bhikkhu answered, "Yes, Lord, that is true. You have told us to be self sufficient and to practice being alone." The Buddha turned to the community and said, "Bhikkhus, I will explain what true self sufficiency is and what is the better way to live alone." There is a full discourse that Buddha had given on this, which Thai is giving here. A self sufficient person is a person who dwells in mindfulness. He is aware of what is going on in the present moment, what is going on in his body, feelings, mind, and objects of the mind. He knows how to look deeply at things in the present moment. He does not pursue the past nor lose himself in the future because the past no longer is and the future has not yet come. Life can only take place in the present moment. If we lose the present moment, we lose life. This is the better way to live alone, right? So this is what Buddha was saying about living alone. It's not that, thank you so much, Snehaji. Yes, it's wonderful words, and these words we need to come back to these words again and again. So Buddha's point was not to like stay aloof from the community, and because we cannot do that. We are all interdependent on each other, but in fully engaged in whatever work we do, we still have to be mindful, be within our. So this is what Buddha's last teaching was: be an island unto yourself, right? Be an island unto yourself. And this present moment is like, when you are in the present moment, you are basically, there's all the storm that is happening outside, but for you create island for yourself, a comfortable island for yourself. In the middle of the chaos, you can be in the middle of the chaos, but that island you have created for yourself, right? Okay, so Buddha continues, Bhikkhus, what is meant by pursuing the past? To pursue the past means to lose yourself in the thoughts about what you looked like in the past, what your feelings were then, what rank and position you held, what happiness or suffering you experienced then. Giving rise to such thoughts entangle you in the past. Bhikkhus, what is meant by losing yourself in the future? To lose yourself in the future means to lose yourself in the thoughts about the future. You imagine hope, fear, or worry about the future, wondering what you will look like, what your feelings will be, whether you will have happiness or suffering, right? We have all these thoughts, what will be my life will be, right? All these thoughts, giving rise to such thoughts entangle you in future. Bhikkhus return to the present moment in order to be in direct contact with life and to see think life deeply. If you cannot make a direct contact with life, you cannot see deeply. Mindfulness enables you to return to the present moment. But if you are enslaved by desires and anxieties or what is happening in the present, you will lose your mindfulness and you will not be truly present to life. Bhikkhus, one who really knows how to be alone dwells in the present moment, even if he is sitting in the middle of a crowd. If a person sitting alone in the middle of the forest is not mindful, if he is haunted by the past and future, he is not truly alone, right? So it's all about you taking control of your mind, right? Even you go to the forest and you have so many thoughts in you, there's no point going to the forest, right? The Buddha then recited a gatha to summarize his teachings. It's like poem, right? Do not pursue the past. Do not lose yourself in the future. The past no longer is. The future has not yet come. Looking deeply at life as it is, in the very here and now, the practitioner dwells in stability and freedom. We must be diligent today. To wait until tomorrow is too late. Death comes unexpectedly. How can we bargain with it? So, Buddha, again, he always reminds us of death. It can come anytime. The sage calls a person who knows how to dwell in mindfulness night and day, the one who knows the better way to live alone. Right? So, that is the poem. After reading the Gatha, the Buddha thanked Thera and invited him to be seated again. The Buddha had neither praised nor criticized Thera, but it was clear that the bhikkhus now had a better grasp of what the Buddha meant to be becoming self-sufficient and being alone. During the Dhamma discussion that took place later that evening, Swasti listened to the senior disciples say how important the Buddha's words had been that morning. Venerable Ananda repeated the Buddha's discourse, including the Gatha word for word. Swasti was always amazed at Ananda's memory. Ananda even spoke with the same stress on words as the Buddha. Ananda was like very highly learned and he knew what Buddha said word by word. When Ananda was finished, Mahakana stood up and said, I would like to suggest that we make a formal sutra of a Buddha's teaching this morning. I further suggest we name it Bhaddekaratta Sutra, the sutra on knowing a better way to live alone. I need to read this actual sutra in the Pali canon, which I am researching. I will definitely, sorry, sorry. I will definitely research on this. So just we'll do one more para. Every bhikkhu should memorize this sutta and put this into practice. Mahakassapa stood up and voiced his support for Mahakana's idea. The next morning, when the bhikkhus were out begging, they encountered a group of children playing by the rice paddies. The children had caught a crab, which one boy held down with his forefinger. With the other hand, he ripped one of the crab's claws off. The other children clapped their hands and squealed. Pleased with their reaction, the boys ripped the other claw off. Then he tore all of the crab's legs off one by one. He tossed the crab back into the paddy and caught another one. Okay, okay. So this is another thing that has started. So we will close it here. Buddha had a lot of knowledge here on this particular thing. So we will continue reading this tomorrow. I hope this reading was insightful. It is a lot of knowledge points there that we came across. Yes, yes, Nehaji, even I feel bad. And just we can do whatever little we can do. And thank you so much for resonating here. And but the knowledge actually just got lost from India only. It went all across. It's spread in the US, UK, Australia, right till Japan, people practice it. It's just that, and the loss is for the people, for Indian people who have not been able to get it, and that is a sad thing. But definitely, I believe whoever is needs to get this knowledge will come to this some way or the other. They will come to it, right? So the wheel of Dhamma will not stop. That's like the thing. The wheel of Dhamma has started. It will not stop. It cannot be turned back. So yes. Any question, anything, any thoughts, any sharing you want to do, please feel free. In the meanwhile, let me check if there is anyone, any comment or anything on the live stream so that I can reply. Okay. Okay. No, no, no. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Or for all these kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sneha ji. Thank you, Sandhya ji. Thank you so much. And anyone who has joined through the live stream or watching this recording, thank you so much. We close for today and let's meet tomorrow, same time, and let's see what happened to that, the crab thing that is going on. And let's meet tomorrow, 7 p.m. Thank you so much. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you.